So this is rural Arizona, and a trip to the hardware store takes at least an hour travel time, round trip. And the nearest town of any substance is 45,000 people, Sierra Vista. Has reasonable services and a reasonable amount of retail stuff available. Can't find it here, man, then it's a 120 or 130 mile round trip to Tucson. Or order it online and wait. Well, as you saw in my last video, my repair on my parts washer was a fail. So I thought, well, wonder if anybody in town happens to have a new flexible wand for that thing. And so I went to all the local hardware retail outlets. Of course they didn't have it. They might be able to order one. A couple of them even had parts washers, but no parts. So I thought, well, crap. What am I going to do? Then I got a bright idea. This is what I'm replacing, and I'm going to attempt to do it with this. A new wand, flexible wand and brush and all that stuff online, eBay. It's about $50. Well, that's what I got wrapped up in the entire parts washer. So I'm not interested in spending that kind of money to repair whatever, have double the money I have into it. I'm of Scottish descent, so I'm cheap, so I have to be resourceful. So let's see if I can transfer that or transform that into that. We'll see what happens. Okay, the assembly is complete. Got it pretty close to the size of the original wand and nozzle. I'm just using barbed brass fittings, 1/4 inch. As you can see. Yeah, this stuff, the yellow thread tape, that's rated for chemicals, gasoline and other chemicals, so that should work fine in the parts washer. So I am going to go clean the threads on the female side of the parts washer and put this in and see if I have any geysers this time. Wish me luck. Okay, the moment of truth has arrived. I've got the new flexible wand and nozzle installed. Let's see if I got solvent splashing all over everything. No leaks. Much better flow out of the end. So now a new problem arises. Some would ask, well, Matt, that Tygon tubing is really flexible. It's not rigid enough. If you need two hands and you need to have that sit up there, it won't hold itself up. And you would be correct. So, you took your average welding magnet, has a 1/4 stud sticking out of it. I took a 1/4 coupling and a 1/4 eye bolt, and the magnet will stick to the metal base, and I can just slide that in there like so and point it wherever I want, and that should work just fine. Yeah. Success. I like it. We'll take that for the win. All right. All Arco from Outlaw Edge, if you're watching. Here's another nifty way of keeping all of the metal debris and shavings and rust, dust, and crap from sticking to your magnets on the work table. Take your basic little plastic margarine dish and set that on your metal surface, and then set your magnet inside of that. None of the crap on the table is going to stick to your magnet. How's that for an innovative old man thinking, huh? So, while I took my trip to the hardware store to get the Tygon tubing and the fix for the pressure, or the parts washer, got me some new socket head. Ooh, boy, that blends right in, doesn't it? New quarter 20 socket head cap screws for the vice jaws. And, oh, come on. Looks like that's going to be a good fit. Once I tighten them down, they should fit snugly and recess just a little bit. That'll work just fine. So when I brought these home, I knew the existing ones were quarter 20 by 5/8, and they're roached. I mean, their threads are stripped, and the slot is stripped. Hope you can see that. But for some reason, the new ones look smaller in diameter than the old ones. What the heck is up with that? So, get out the old dial calipers here, and the old ones measure, let's see, quarter 20, it should be 250 thousandths. And this one measures 241 thousandths, so just 9 thousandths under. And the new one measures, I can do this, 245 thousandths, so it's actually larger in diameter. So, yeah, okay, they'll work. I also picked up a quarter 20 bottom tap. All I had was a quarter 20 tapered tap. And the holes that those jaws screw into are blind. If you can see, everything's dark. Ugh. Well, that ain't gonna work. I'm no cinematographer. There, now I got it out in the sun. Those are blind holes. So I needed a bottom tap to screw in there and clean out those threads. Quite a bit of rust and stuff in there, and then I'll take the air nozzle and blow those out, and then when I get the jaws cleaned up, they'll be ready to go back on there. So, yeah, you can see in there all the grunge I got to clean up. So I've got my handy dandy scraping tool here. I'm going to go to work scraping away on this thing and get all the big junk out, and then I'll toss it in that parts washer and clean the rest of it up. Speaking of the parts washer, before I forget, I mentioned in the last video that I wished this stuff was also available in gallon jugs instead of 5-gallon jugs, because this is almost $50. And I don't really want to buy more, but I thought, I'm going to have to get some more because I don't quite have the fluid level I want. I'd like to have that a couple inches taller, volume-wise, just to make sure that pump stayed submerged. Well, YouTuber Rusty Glovebox mentioned in the comments, he goes, "Hey, Matt, throw a couple of bricks in the bottom of your tank there. That'll take up some of the volume and raise your fluid level up a little bit. Then you won't have to buy any more solvent." And I thought, that is a great idea. So thanks, Rusty. I'm going to scrounge around the ranch here and find a couple of bricks and clean them, and I'll put them in the bottom of this tank, and that'll raise my fluid level up sufficient, and then I'll check and see what my evaporation loss is, and then if I have to, I'll buy more PSC 1000. But in the meantime, Rusty came up with a great idea. Okay, well, that's it. I think I'll just call this one done. And got a successful fix on the parts washer. I can get back to work on the vise. And so thanks, everybody, for tuning in and seeing what's happening here at the old Stewart Ranch. And we will see you on the next video. Bye now. Yeah. It was a joke. I know as soon as you fire up the welder, that little margarine dish will melt into a molten pool of plastic all over the welding table. But hey, you got to add a little levity to this stuff once in a while, you know? Oh my God.